Oh yes.
How very, very silly. Marvellous.
We're festive today.
Yay!
It's December. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Liz and Skatz channel.
Indeedy.
Welcome to the 7th live stream. And ho 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 ho.
That was a very delicate little ting today.
Oh, that was very nice.
Fabulous.
Lovely, lovely. Hello. If there's anyone out there, just give us a wave on the chat thing on the side of the screen. I don't know which side it is.
Which
And,
camera are we on? Sorry, I'm not...
We're actually on the one on the top of
On
the
the
screen
top,
up there.
okay.
But so yeah, apologies if I'm looking down at you when I keep forgetting to look at the little green light up at the top. Up there. Hello, there you are.
We're trying a new camera tonight, so this is why.
We are, yes. This one's a better one than the detachable one. It's the new computer. Yes. It's got a better webcam, so we'll use that.
Affiliate links in
Yes.
the bottom.
Indeed. So today, well, this Christmas, it's more important than ever, isn't it? To
Yeah.
lift everybody's spirits and celebrate together
Yeah.
in the spirit of the season. That's why I'm wearing the hat. But how do we do that without feasting on all of the nasty, rotten, wrong foods and putting all the weight back on and feeling guilty about celebrating?
And then feeling awful for the first 3 or 4 months of 2021.
Yeah, and then having to make a resolution to take it all off again, and then back at the same
Yeah.
place here in December next year. Well, in this live stream, we're going to be talking about some of our favourite Christmas foodie treats.
Yeah.
Nom 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 that you can make and eat without compromising your keto lifestyle or whatever other kind of lifestyle you have.
Yeah, absolutely, because it'll work for just about any kind of weight loss stuff, but mostly for keto
Yes.
and mostly for fasting, so yeah.
And we learnt today that Quito is actually the capital of Ecuador.
Hey!
Yes, a different spelling, but hello, people of Ecuador. If there's anyone from Ecuador listening, write something in Spanish. Doesn't matter where you're from.
love to
Write
hear.
something in Spanish anyway, we like Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes. We're also going to tell you, we are finding ways, generally over December, to have all of the fun and the yumminess while staying safe in our own family bubbles.
Yes.
Yes. It's going to be a Christmas of wellness and spreading good cheer.
Yay.
So we'll start by spreading good cheer to you today. And I hope you're all very well. You are very welcome. We'll also tell you why Liz was in hospital today.
Yeah, I know. Don't panic. It was fine. What the first thing I'd like to say is apologies for not doing a live stream last week.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, we were both feeling a little bit under the weather, and
Yeah.
we just really were a bit kind of burnt out, and so we just decided, tell you what, we'll just leave it for this week.
Yeah.
It's been a bit hectic, a bit mad. We've had a few sort of issues going on, both technically and with the YouTube channel and things that we won't bore you with, but suffice to say we apologise. So
Yes.
we just wanted to.
And we have had some depressive episodes recently, as you'd probably guess from the videos that we've done
Yeah.
about making it through. To try and make it through, push through. But I think we've both turned a corner now.
I'm feeling an awful
hope
lot
so.
better. I did a video the other week on Facebook and got an unbelievable amount of people who responded very kindly, and I just wanted to let everybody know that I was actually just trying to highlight mental health issues during lockdown. Thankfully, we've had a couple of trips out. They set us free in
They did.
Ireland.
They've opened up the county. We
So-
can't go over the border.
No.
Mind you, Kerry's a very big county.
It
so
is, it's huge.
It's all right. We went all the way up to the very top.
We went to the top just because we can. No,
Because
we
we
didn't.
can.
We had to.
Actually, I
but-
had to say goodbye to one of my guitars. Normally the one that you see
know.
hanging up in the very corner of here, which is not
It's
actually in
gone.
shot on this camera. But yes, that one's gone now. But
Yeah.
that's okay. I'm not too sad. I have my two favourite guitars.
Normally you hate it when you have to sell a guitar, don't you?
Yeah, I always regret it. I always, in the future. But there you go. It's all for the common good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go.
So we're excited about this Christmas
We are.
because next Christmas may be very, very different for us.
Mm.
We can't divulge too much at this point. Some of you out there watching may know what's going on. It's very sort of like close friends and family, but it's going to be very different, hopefully, next year.
Yes, and there'll be lots of other different kinds of videos because of that, and that's just telling you too much. So we won't say more about that. So some sweet recipes. Do you know what? I remember when we made that video about why sugar is really bad for you.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, why on earth would you want to eat the sort of foods that reminded me of the sweet things that I was addicted to and all that made me overweight and gave me diabetes?
Have you had a U-turn, love?
I don't. I mean, well, yeah.
Maybe
why would I want to
U-turn.
punish myself like that? Why? But I mean, what do we think of that now? What do I think of it? What do you think of it?
I felt the same. I really did. I felt the same way. And I was a little bit sort of very nervous, in fact scared, I think, of making foods that were substitutes because I didn't want to get sucked back in to the real thing, as it were, like breads and sweets. And well, I really wasn't a sweet tooth like you were, but my things were sort of crisps and breads and things like that. I really miss toast, for example.
So it's more of a danger for me, really, the sweet things.
Yeah, but
we did those cheesecake recipes for your birthday.
For my birthday, we had the cheesecake. Oh my goodness!
They were very nice. I mean, they weren't really, really sweet. We used a little bit of stevia in one of them, and I just used fruit in mine.
Yeah.
And excuse me, and that's making me burp now just thinking about it. And that was sweet enough for me and I'm used to eating the raspberries and the the blueberries. Blueberries. I keep getting them wrong. Keep calling them black currants. They do. They're black and they look like currants.
Yeah.
So that's not too much of overstepping the mark. At least I'm not trying to have something that tastes really, really, really sweet. Because the minute something really sweet hits my mouth, then I'm afraid that I might want to eat that all the time. Biscuits, for example. So I've been looking through a lot of the recipes that you can find online. There are tons of keto recipes.
Oh my goodness!
Absolutely.
I started looking and it was like, whoa! It's like an avalanche of stuff.
Yeah, there's whole websites dedicated to making things that are really sweet.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have all of these granulated sugar substitutes in, and I've watched an awful lot of YouTube which is saying particularly I can't remember their names, it's a man and wife, can't remember their names. Anyway, American, do apologise for not remembering who they are, but they actually did daily tests where they pricked their finger and did glucose tests to start off with, then ate some of the sweetener and then tested their glucose again a couple of hours later. And nearly all of the sweeteners boosted up their insulin levels, or cut the ketones down.
So the body thought it was sweet.
Yeah,
because it said sweet coming in by the brain.
So there were only two. One of them I can remember, which was stevia, and the other one I can never pronounce. So I do apologise. I'll write it in the comments later when I've gone back to my notes and.
So we're going to say stevia for all of these.
Stevia for us is the best one. Now a lot of people find that a bit difficult to deal with because it does have a little bit of an aftertaste. But to be honest with you, I found it really quite pleasant and it was all right.
We didn't use very much.
So you don't need to use much.
I think that's the secret for us. Don't use too much.
But it's like one drop of it is like the equivalent to almost
sugar lump.
Three teaspoons of sugar, I think.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, it's huge.
We won't use very much.
Anyway, you don't need to.
So let's look at. So I've got 4 of these recipes written down.
Balls. It says balls.
Rum balls. That's what we've got to say to you. Now, a lot of these, I think most of them are gluten free because let's face it, we can't eat cereals.
Yeah.
On the keto lifestyle, so I think they're all gluten free, which is brilliant. So if you're just a gluten intolerant person and you're not even on a diet, then these are for you too. Some of them are vegan, some are dairy free and vegan. I'm sure you can work it out from what it says on the recipes. But if there are any recipes that you'd like us to try making and tasting, then leave us a comment below or in the chat. Or
give us a challenge, something that you really like. Something you really like that you're really going to miss this Christmas because you're doing keto, or you're fasting or something, and you just want an equivalent or not. We're not going to say a substitute now. We're going to say an equivalent.
What's wrong with substitutes?
Well, because I don't know. I just always think that it's you're just replacing something. That
I see what you
seem
mean.
quite right.
Mhm.
But I think an equivalent is nice.
Well, let's see if we can improve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, you never know.
Absolutely.
So, rum balls. Let's get ready to rumble.
That's scary.
Now, these ones have only 0.7 grams of carb per ball.
Woohoo!
Now, so this one's really, really easy. No cooking involved. It's and the ingredients are cocoa powder, unsweetened, of course, or cacao powder, coconut oil. That's 2 tablespoons of each of those, and some sweetener, whichever one it is that you want to use. This says 1 tablespoon on that recipe, but that's of the
Don't
granulated.
use 1 tablespoon of stevia, for
No.
God's sake. You'll
No,
end
that'll
up
blow your head off.
going to the doctors, I think. It would be too much.
And almond flour, 2 tablespoons of that, and some desiccated coconut for this one. 6 tablespoons of desiccated coconut, and then an extra one for rolling up at the end onto the
Now,
outside.
Just let me mention something about desiccated coconut. Some desiccated coconut is made with sugar.
Oh,
They desiccate it with sugar.
oh,
So please be
look out for
careful
that.
to get the stuff that hasn't got sugar in. It should say on the label if it's there.
yes, good. Thank you for reminding me of that.
No problem.
And the final ingredient, of course, is rum. We don't use too much of that because that rum is quite sweet. 1 to 2 tablespoons, or is that teaspoons? Not sure. It says tablespoons there.
Tabuspa means tablespoons.
That's quite a lot. But anyway,
Yeah, it's less than a
why not? It's Christmas.
tablespoon is 10 mils. So
You
it's
could
less
always
than a shot.
you could always use brandy, which is probably
Yeah.
about the same number of carbs as rum.
No,
or if you
brandy has no carbs and whiskey
well, it has no
carbs.
carbs.
Rum doesn't
Whiskey
have
has
any
no carbs, so
either.
you could have whiskey balls this Christmas. I might try whiskey balls as well.
Rum doesn't have any carbohydrates.
Does it not? Okay then.
All spirits.
Fabulous. Well,
Have
then
no
you can
carbs.
put in as much as you want. Although, do watch Liz's video that's coming out tomorrow, which is all about what alcohol you can have
Yeah.
on keto. So, there you go. And it's a very simple recipe. Just mix together all the dry ingredients, then you add the coconut oil and the rum, and roll each
It's
ball
dry
in a
now,
little
so-
desiccated coconut, and then refrigerate for 30 minutes or more. And that's it. Then eat.
Yeah. Sorry, they
Lovely.
were driving me crazy.
Are they? Well, they
I couldn't hear what you were saying. So.
Just wait till I show you this one. Yeah, I'm only going to play the first couple of seconds of this because
Oh, yeah,
it would
we
probably
might
go
get
against
told off.
copyright, and we don't want to be told off. So see if you can guess what tune it is. I'll name that tune in 4. There we go.
Mention it in the comments or in the
mention
in
it
the
somewhere.
live chat somewhere.
Nobody's given us a wave yet, but hello.
Come on, guys.
We've got several people watching.
I know
there.
Oscar's there tonight, so.
Oh, hello, Oscar. Up there in the very north before you reach the north of
No,
Ireland.
he'll be chilly at the moment.
Yes. Yes, so that's the first recipe. What do you think of that? Tell us what you think. And
That sounds
definitely,
good to me. I'd go
definitely
for it.
making
I'd go for it if it was rum. I think.
Yes,
I think
why
brandy
not?
or whiskey might be a bit too harsh.
Might
I'm
be.
thinking.
Mm.
Don't know.
I'm prepared to give it a try, though.
Well, I'm sure you are, my darling.
We've got several
What
bottles
else have
of
we got?
whiskey left.
What else we got? We're
Next
halfway
one.
through.
Okay, fruity mascarpone
Oh,
mousse.
my
That's what I've called this.
God.
This is almost the same as the cheesecake that I made.
Well, it's the topping of the cheesecake, isn't
It
it?
is basically
So, yeah.
the topping of the cheesecake that I made, which is a tub of mascarpone, absolutely gorgeous stuff, and some cream. I've put 4 tablespoons. I just went like that with the cream, to be honest. No idea how much.
We
I
don't like
cream
recipes
an awful
very
lot.
much. We just
And
chuck it all in.
then raspberries, and then blueberries, a handful of each. Chuck them in the whizzy machine, and put it in some bowls.
What's a
Chill.
What's a whizzy machine?
A whizzy
For
machine.
those who don't
The
know.
or a either a hand whisk or a thing. It's a food processor, isn't it? It's not a whisk. It's the one with the blades that chop
You
it
can use
up.
the mechanical beaters, or you can use a food
can.
processor, or you can even use a liquidizer because it is actually liquid enough for you to be able to use in a liquidizer.
It's a whizzy machine. It's all right. Okay, so all you do is whiz all that together and chill it, and you can add some fruit to the top as a bit of decoration, or even what would you have? A sprig of mint maybe on the top of that,
Maybe.
or something. I don't
Maybe,
know.
especially if it's spearmint, not peppermint.
Hmm.
Spearmint is actually sweeter. So
Very nice.
Some spearmint. I've actually still got some in a pot that I bought from the supermarket, and it seems to still be going. I'm quite surprised, actually. And maybe it's probably because it's inside.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it seems to still be going.
Good. So that's that recipe. And the other recipe is a variation on the topping of the other cheesecake we made. This is, I've called it chocolate hazelnut goo. Goo. That used to be a kind of a pudding with, that was a brand name.
It is still a kind of a pudding.
Yes, but mine is spelt G-O-O.
Yes.
Goo, which is different.
Rather than G umlaut.
Yes, so we're not breaking any kind of copyright because I said it with 2 O's.
You did.
And
it is.
And other goos are available.
And we have it on screen just so that you can...
We do. And for that you use mascarpone, or you can use any of the cream cheeses really.
You can use cream cheese as well. I found that the cream cheese was a bit cheesy.
Yeah.
And I found the mascarpone to be a little bit sort of just
creamy.
more bland and creamy. Yeah.
Which is what you want.
Yeah.
And of course you add cream to this as well. You would add cocoa powder or cacao powder and cacao nibs as well, I would say. Melt some of those into there.
I'll tell you what, we're really getting into our cacao nibs now, aren't we? I love them.
So, and also smash up some hazelnuts as well.
Yeah.
In a little bag or even a big bag.
Yeah.
And
or you can use them in a coffee grinder as well if you want them to be a bit finer, so that it just makes it into kind of like a more...
And this is to sprinkle on the top anyway. That's
I see,
perfect.
sorry.
Or you could mix it in.
Incorporation.
You could incorporate it, yes. Some stevia as well. This one definitely needs some sweetening, whereas the last one was sweetened by the fruit, so that's okay.
Yeah.
And then you can use some whole hazelnuts to decorate if you want, or some other nuts, whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can vary this, but we just bought some hazelnuts yesterday and tried them, and I've forgotten how nice they are.
Oh my God.
Because they work so well with chocolate, don't they?
Yeah. It's best not to eat too many hazelnuts. Refer to the nut video as well, because they are quite good on the omega-6 level. But they don't have as much fat, I don't think, if memory serves.
Okay.
So because it is actually fat that we're looking for here. So, and of course, if you wanted to go in a vegetarian, or if you wanted to go vegan with this, then I understand that there is a kind of a vegan cream cheese that you can use.
Is there?
That's made with soya. It's made with soy, so you could use coconut cream and soy cream cheese as well, and then add the cocoa and the stevia, and then it makes it vegan.
Vegan. There you go. That's one for the vegans. Are there any vegans on? Give us a wave.
I know.
Hello,
I love vegan food, actually. I really do.
So, the next one. Raspberry almond keto shortbread biscuits. Or they were called cookies in the recipe, because this is an American recipe. And these are only 1 gram of carb per biscuit. I don't know what the grams of carbs were in the previous recipes.
In the mousse. Well, I think
hardly
it depends.
anything in the mousse.
I think it would depend on... I think the fruit one might have a few more carbs because fruits contain carbohydrates. But I still don't think, if you're only using a handful of berries, and berries are actually the best fruit that you can eat if you're on keto. They contain very little. The best berries are blueberries, so they contain the least amount of carbohydrates per 100 grams. So there we go.
Fabulous. So this one, very quickly, I'll give you the ingredients first. 3 tablespoons of butter, some sweetener.
That's powdered sweetener you should be using there. So that makes it a little bit more difficult because we don't use powdered sweetener. So.
Yeah, I've put powdered sweetener on all of these because that's what it said in the recipe.
Okay.
But let's use stevia. Now, then a teaspoon each of vanilla extract, raspberry extract and almond extract, and a cup of almond flour. Now a cup is 8 ounces.
8 ounces.
Multiply by 8 to get the number of ounces. And I don't know what it is for number of grams.
Say what it is in grams.
It's more grams. So baking soda, teaspoon of that, and I think you can get some. I don't know what's baking soda. There's something about baking soda that you can change if you don't want gluten. Has that got gluten in it?
No, baking soda's fine.
There's something that I've forgotten.
I know. You can use baking soda or powder are the same thing basically, and it's basically it's kind of, I think it's bicarbonate of soda. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but
no, I think you're right.
No, it's not gluten. There's no gluten in it.
Okay then, I'll put it in the comments below myself if I remember exactly what it was that I read. Something about baking soda. Because another of the recipes said you can use this alternative
use
baking
xanthan
soda
gum?
if you don't want... Oh, maybe it's xanthan gum, yeah.
Because it does the same thing.
Yeah.
It basically binds everything
We
together.
might use that because we don't have any baking soda.
We do.
We do. Well, let's use both then. It'll be very solid. Then a quarter of a teaspoon of salt for this one. Always nice in a biscuit. And some frozen raspberries. Half a cup. That's 4 ounces of frozen raspberries. Important, I suppose, to use frozen raspberries so that they don't all go gooey when you're cooking them.
Possibly. Don't know.
That's so that they get to the right temperature when they're cooked. So, and how to do it? Very quickly, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't know what that is in Celsius.
180.
180, thank you. Add the butter, sweetener and all the extracts to a medium-sized mixing bowl or a stand mixer. Cream for about 1 minute. Then blend the almond flour into that wet mixture. Add the baking soda and the salt. Mix all of that until you've got a dough-like consistency. And then carefully fold in the raspberries very carefully into the dough with a large wooden spoon or spatula, it says. Yes, always best for folding. Don't mix that in because they'll mash it up. And it will also melt the frozen raspberries, which you don't want at this point. Then roll the dough into balls, place them on a cookie sheet and gently flatten the cookies with a fork or the bottom of a glass and bake for 8 to 10 minutes or until the bottoms are just browned. There you go. And that's that one. They sounded really nice. It wouldn't have been my choice of biscuit before I started liking raspberries a lot more with blueberries because I've been eating them. They're my kind of only fruits. There you go.
To be aware of the time now.
And yeah, of course. That's all right. It's very short compared to our normal ones, isn't it?
Okay.
So, gingerbread men. I call them gingerbread men. Some people call them gingerbread cookies. So, the ingredients for this is basically using almond flour again. That tends to be what you'd use instead of the regular flours with gluten in them. And there's 2 1/4 cups of almond flour. And why the quarter? That's 18 ounces. 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. 1 1/2 teaspoons of ground ginger. 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Not my favourite ingredient, but I suppose a tiny bit in this recipe is probably the right thing. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of gluten-free baking powder, it says here. So maybe there is a gluten baking powder and a gluten-free. So that's why I thought it was strange. 1/8 teaspoon of sea salt, some sweetener, 3 tablespoons of softened butter, and 1 large egg at room temperature. That's important.
Yeah, because in America they fridge their eggs.
Yes.
We don't here.
No, we don't. So that's okay. And finally, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I don't need to go through this as a recipe, do I? Because I think what we're going to do is try these ones out, and we'll give you the instructions of exactly what to do when we do the cooking video, the food video. So there we go. That's that one. And you had some titles of recipes
I have,
down.
yeah.
So we're going to
I
chat about that.
I didn't really want to go into the recipes because unless we were going to bring them up on the screen, really. But for example, some Christmassy things to start off with. You can do some keto crackers, which basically involves melting cheese and adding a little bit of almond flour and some xanthan gum, and it's so simple. So that would be a good one.
Yeah, you just flatten them out and bake them for what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, on a baking sheet, on a baking parchment. So that's actually from Keto King channel, which is really, really good. So do go onto the Keto King. Also, another channel I really want to recommend is Heavy Metal Keto guy. He is absolutely awesome. Shout out to him. I think I've got the name of his channel wrong, so please forgive me. I think it's like Heavy Rock or Hard Rock channel, but
we'll put it in the comments.
He is brilliant, and I really love what he does with his recipes. So anyway, another starter, maybe you could go for a broccoli and cheese soup. Because that would be really, really easy to do. You could use Stilton or Gorgonzola, so it could be like a broccoli and Stilton soup. Really easy, just lots of cream and a really good chicken broth. So that would be really easy to do. So side dishes, a lot of people are kind of concerned about that because they'd use a lot of things like potatoes and things like that would be going on in. But you can do actually cauliflower fried rice. So that's basically grating the cauliflower and then frying it up in some lovely goose fat. Maybe with some lardons, some bacon. That would be really nice just to have as an extra side dish. Courgette sticks, just roast them in the oven covered with some cheese. That's another really nice one. Spaghetti squash. Now I need to check the carbs on this because I'm not sure about the carbohydrate rates for spaghetti squash, but apparently it's quite low compared to other squashes because then it's not as sweet. So I will check that out, but we'll be coming back to this one, I think. So you can have spaghetti squash and you can make, your own spaghetti. I mean, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
Green beans with almond slivers, which is a really nice one that I thought. Yeah, so the desserts maybe. You can have, we've had cheesecakes, we've mentioned cheesecakes before, and they're quite high calories. You can actually do keto chocolate cake made with courgettes. And I've actually found another one the other day, not yesterday, day before, which is actually made with avocado. So I'm interested in finding out about that because apparently that gives you the same consistency and then when you cook it, it comes out like cake. How amazing is that? Keto mousses or chocolate mousses, we were saying like lemon would be quite nice maybe as a bit bit of a
nice
zesty
and tangy
one.
and that would get rid of the taste of the stevia as well.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I'm also looking into making Baileys, keto Baileys, because this is like chocolate and cream and then it's going to be vanilla extract and whiskey and that's about it.
That sounds like heaven.
So
let's do that now.
That might be really, really nice as well. I'm going to give that a whirl. I also want to talk in future lives and in future recipe videos. Excuse me, I'm burping now as well. How very rude of me. I do apologise. I also want to talk about doing keto gravy because now I don't like to blow my own trumpet too much. But
go on, about your gravy you should.
I do make a good gravy.
She does.
I really do. Or I used to, when I used to use the fat from the meat and then add broth and all of that. And I used to go to great lengths to make sure every Sunday we'd have gravy made from scratch.
Of course, that was made with flour.
And that was made with flour, of course. And you normally add around about an ounce of flour. Or 25 grams of flour, which is quite a lot. So I didn't really want to go for that anymore because even at Christmas, because even that tiny bit, I don't want to go there. So I've been looking into how to use xanthan gum to thicken up liquids. So far, the one that I did the other week with the gravy that we did for birthday dinner, I wasn't as keen.
Yeah.
It tasted a bit bland. I wasn't as interested in it. It wasn't so watch this space. I am going to be doing a lot of testing and trying out with things. Gravy is really important to me. It's not just about the sweet things. It's about making sure that we can have everything for Christmas, and gravy is one of those things.
Yeah, we've been having cream sauces.
Yes,
with a lot of things.
Yeah, but that's not really it's not quite the same thing.
No.
And I do miss the gravy and the cream. When I have the cream sauce with veg, if I've had 2 meals in one day, I put weight on. So I want to try and come up with like a gravy alternative that's obviously using the meat fat, but no cream, so it's not extra fat on top. So.
Indeed. Although we might do some creamy, cheesy cauliflower.
Yeah, well, I do like a veggie bake, and of course the veggie bake works beautifully when you're doing keto because all you have to do is just put some semi-cooked vegetables in the bottom of a large baking tray, then cover with cream and cheese on the top and wang it in the oven. Yum.
Now, we tested out today, well, I tested out one of the things we're going to have for Christmas dinner because I like pigs in blankets. So we had a chicken today.
Oscar likes chicken.
Say again?
Oscar likes them
chicken.
as well.
Oh yeah, Oscar loves pigs in blankets. And so we did a roast chicken dinner because we're having cockerel for Christmas dinner this year. We've already ordered it, which is just like a huge, very tasty, slightly more greasy chicken. absolutely
Lots richer
gorgeous.
flavour as
Yeah,
well. It's
yes,
delicious.
lovely. And so we cooked a chicken today, and I made pigs in blankets. But of course, normally that's the pigs in blankets as that we know are actually just sausages with bacon wrapped around them. What some people call pigs in blankets, I think in America, are sausage rolls, which does actually make more sense because that's more of a blanket, isn't it? But
I guess.
anyway, in the UK, pigs in blankets have bacon wrapped around them. So I made those today, but of course, most sausages have got some kind of flour or rusk mixed in with them,
Or
and we
oats
haven't
even.
found, we haven't found any sausages that we can use that are keto.
sorry.
So I thought, well, let's find a recipe and make some. And so the recipe is basically ground pork. It's just minced pork with some herbs, and that's it. I used some sage. We didn't have any thyme, so I used rosemary, I think.
That was actually really quite nice.
That
I
was
wouldn't
good.
really think to put those two together, but I really liked it.
That's my ignorance of herbs. Surprised.
Yeah.
And a bit of paprika.
Thyme, I don't think would go with sage, actually.
No? Okay. Well, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and some cooking fat, and some sea salt and freshly ground black pepper. I think the cooking fat is just to put in if you do them in a frying pan. I did them in the oven, and actually they were quite dry. I think I overdid them. But this was the test to see whether it would work, and I have some pictures. There we go. Whoa! Look at that. That's the before, the raw picture, and this is the cooked. So I did them for I think I did them for 45 minutes. So there you go. So this is the sausage
30
mixture.
minutes.
There wasn't enough bacon.
Yeah.
And this, of course, is the chicken with the herbs, and stuffed in there is a whole bulb of garlic.
We always put a big bulb of garlic. I usually bash it up a bit as well to release the juices.
Oh, I forgot to bash it up. There we go.
Yeah.
So that was our lovely dinner, and I had 2 of those sausages and one of the patties, as well as half a chicken. So I think I'll have put weight on. But there you go.
It was delicious.
It was delicious, yes, and it had to be tested out. And when we do it for Christmas dinner, it'll be less time in the oven. But we know now. And I may put something oily in there as well, just to keep it like that.
Please forgive me. I'm very tired. I'm yawning now.
Yes, and that's because you were disturbed through the night, and probably because you were going to hospital, wasn't it? So why did that happen?
I had about 18 months ago, according to the consultant who I saw today, I noticed that I'd got some new spots or moles growing on my back, and I was concerned. And
Scary.
I went to the doctor, and he said that he didn't think that there was anything to worry about, but he wanted me to see a dermatologist anyway, a consultant dermatologist. So I went in today after 18 months of waiting. Thank goodness there was nothing wrong, because that's a hell of a long time to wait. And it turns out that I'm just getting old, and these spots come when you get old. So it's like, okay, fair enough then. But it's a good job I went, because I do have quite a prominent mole on this side, on my shoulder blade, and it had bled a couple of times, and that is one of the signs that there's something wrong. But she had a really good look at me, gave me a really good once over, and got her super duper mega magnifying glass that she let me have a go with as well, bless her, because I love that sort of thing. And it really is quite extraordinary what you can see through there. And she said it's completely round, and there's nothing irregular about it, and it was fine, and I probably just caught it on something. So there we are.
Excellent. So that was good news.
Worried.
Bit of a relief.
It's only my 4th biopsy in my life, so it's like,
So I shouldn't be giggling at your biopsies. But there you go. I'm giggling because it's a relief.
Yeah. And also the news today.
Oh yes, of course. We've timed this live stream exactly to go with the announcement that no, we didn't time it at all. But
the UK has given the go ahead for the vaccine, and we couldn't be happier for those who want to take it. Like ourselves, we want to take the vaccine. We will be first in the queue if they get.
Absolutely, I think I'm fairly high up. I'm one of the under 65s who is in a high risk category because I'm still officially diabetic, even though I've conquered it. So
I might be in that queue as well because I live with you. So but I would be willing to pay for my vaccine. To be
although
honest.
they've announced today in Ireland that they don't want anybody to pay because that would be unfair.
Okay, well,
that's
fine.
good. And Ireland actually had a delivery of I think 9 or 11 freezer trucks.
Wow.
Which is there ready for when the vaccines arrive. So
I'm
it's all
so
happening.
excited. It just means that we will be able to go back to doing what we love, which is working in the nursing homes and the community hospitals and the drug and alcohol rehab centres and things like that, and working with the special needs guys that we miss so much.
Yes, indeed.
We love being together and doing stuff together, but we miss that stuff too.
Yes, we do, yes.
It's very gratifying work.
So yes, that's massive relief, big cheers, and it's the beginning of the end of it. I know the virus is never going to go away. It's just like the flu, but
it's so encouraging.
The feeling of danger and being locked down will go away.
So encouraging. So hurrah!
Hurrah! I lift my hat. It looks really weird now. My bald head looks strange. Oh, I should put it on.
There you go.
Jaunty angle. I'm going to take it off because I was wearing this one earlier on the thumbnail, wasn't I? Which I like. I used to wear this one for Christmas gigs, or at least I used to start the Christmas gigs off wearing this one. But when I was very large, and it was really hot. It was really hot in this thing, well, because I had loads of hair as well. So I never lasted beyond the first song. But I imagine just sitting there keeping my hands warm when the fire's gone out. So hello from this guy, and we're going to finish off with a little Christmas song. It's not one that we wrote. Normally we do one of ours. I presume that this one is out of copyright because it's a very, very old song. It's a German song, but we're going to sing the English words. You probably know it. I don't know if we need the words up there, but I'm going to put them up there. We're only going to sing one verse, so join in. 3, 4. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. There we go.
Now, before we go, just to remind you that in the description will be the merchandise link. There are some Christmas jumpers and lovely Christmassy things in there, and you can still get an order.
Just like this one.
Oh, I say, there we are.
For Christmas.
And there's plenty of them, and lots of eco versions as well. If you want to buy organic cotton, there's plenty of them. They're reasonably priced, and until the 7th of December, there is 10% off.
10% off, quick now.
So do it now, and you will be able to get some of them for Christmas. So do that thing.
And some of them aren't themed on or keto.
No.
Some of them are just.
Some of them are
Christmas.
just let it snow. And there's another one which is like I'm still coming, which is Santa. I don't think it says I'm still coming because that would be rude. But no, I think it's like I'm still going to be there.
Yes,
Santa.
I'm still on the way.
Still on the way. Thank you. God, dear.
That's the one. And also, don't forget the Patreon.
Yes. You too can become a producer on our channel. So please do subscribe to our Patreon. And I can't do that whilst you're doing that because it's distracting. With Patreon, we have 4 or 5 tiers, and which is unlike the tiers of the UK. And you can actually subscribe to that, and we'll give you. In fact, I need to get the email out this week for the email monthly email, but that's
Yes.
the very least that you get. You can work all the way up to having a song written for you. You'll get yoga and meditation videos if you on a certain tier. You also get discounts for products and discounts for the merchandise as well. So
Perfect. So
I think that's everything.
that is everything. And that's all for this week.
Yeah.
You've all been lovely. There's been quite a few of you who've been online all the time. So, give us a wave. There's nothing came through on the chat. This
Okay.
happens a lot to us.
Yeah.
And I don't
It's
know if there's
okay.
something wrong, but I've pressed all the right buttons. But anyway, put some comments below.
Yeah,
Anyway. And
just-
if you're watching afterwards, then hello to you too.
Absolutely.
Talk
we
to us.
love to have you here. And please do comment and ask us questions. We absolutely love being asked questions. And anything, about the Patreon or the merchandise, then we're happy to answer as well.
Yes, indeed. So,
And any recipes you'd like us to do.
yes, of course, recipes. Indeed. So, happy Christmas, peace and love.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.